everyone, good morning. Welcome to our company meeting. The reason why I called an urgent meeting is because to talk about the impact of the pandemic. People are not getting aware of what is our role in the economy. But since a lot of years passed when the pandemic started, the tourism industry is slowly getting back on its track. So I want everyone to prepare and let you know again what is the purpose of your role in this company. But let me tell you first about the tourist guide in general and the purpose of our company in the economy.
To enlighten everyone, tour guiding started in England during the mid-1700s. They are the professionals that lead their guests to their desired destinations. Like us, we tour around the guests to their preferred places. This so-called tour guiding was introduced in the Philippines according to the evidence of archaeologists in the early years before the Spaniards came. Tour guiding has been long introduced between Filipinos, Chinese, and other countries who visit our country for trading. In this part, Filipino culture shows our attitude of being hospitable to our guests or visitors. So what I'm saying is, our purpose is to assist, give information, solve problems, and give the needs of our guests. We all know that our expertise is knowing the history of the location and offering a tour group with interesting and enlightening information about the points of interest at nature attractions, historic sites, museums, scenic locations, and other travel destinations. And also, we're here to help them experience a once-in-a-lifetime adventure. People have a little bit of knowledge about the benefits of being a tour guide. Aminado naman tayong lahat na malaki ang sweldo natin. But that is the biggest benefit that we can be proud of. Aside from that, some of you have already traveled to many places and visited many countries, which will give you a big opportunity to be an expert in history, arts, architectures, and other information about places. And our company has a big role in tourism industry because we provide information and tour different people in different places. So for you to help me manage our company well and as your tour I and as your head of tourist guide, I want to learn about your position. So why not share your job, benefits, and experiences and other information about your position? Shall we start?
As a freelance tour guide, you can work in just any field you feel you are comfortable in. You do not need any specific designation like water guide, land guide, step-on guide, or sightseeing guide. If you have experience in a field and you know how to do it, you can do it as a freelance guide. One thing that you will have to know is just you cannot just become a freelancer. Most tour guides work for years just to get the contacts they need to become successful. And the same goes with the freelancers in the field. To become a truly successful freelance tour guide, you need to have worked in a field, made friends, and network to build up a relationship with the locals in the areas you will be working, and with the tour companies that will eventually be hiring you. Yes, as a freelance tour guide, you do not need to work in a company. You can get your own clients, but I think that would be much harder for you. As a freelance tour guide, you are responsible for anything and everything that the tour entails. If you are going to work for yourself, you should know the inner workings of just about every part of the tour. That means you are the tour guide, the tour escort, the tour manager, and the operations manager. Your job will start at the top with the job of the operations manager, planning the tours, calling up contacts, visiting sites, and putting together the itinerary. Now, let's talk about ATV guides. An ATV guide or all-terrain vehicle guide may lead or drive guests along roads and tracks using jeeps, four-wheelers, or side-by-side ATVs. Just like all adventure guides, their two chief priorities are ensuring both safety and enjoyment of their guests. As an ATV guide, you are also responsible in guiding groups of guests up a mountain trail for varying lengths of time. Also, you should share information about some brief local history. And as an ATV guide, you should know how to follow safety protocols and standard operating procedures. You should also undergo trainings on ATV driving. And lastly, you should ensure that the guests have the best and most enjoyable time. There are compensations you can get as an ATV guide. First is that some lodging options might be available for guides. Next is that you will get paid for every trip or outing. As an ATV guide, you have flexible hours. Possibly, there will be available additional positions for activities and jobs. And lastly, you can enjoy a fun outdoor job in any ATV destinations.
What is a fishing guide? A fishing guide is a person who takes people out on boats and shows. They help and teaches them the art of fishing. You need an extensive experience and knowledge of the fish population in order to enlighten the guests about their tour. As a fishing guide, your main duties involve creating a plan for tours, interacting with the guests, teaching guests new knowledge, cleaning fish, and maintaining your boats and other equipments. These jobs requires extensive knowledge of fishing, and boat operation. In particular, you need expert knowledge and experience in your local waters to know where fish are biting and what techniques to use in each location. You need also excellent social skill to keep guests happy on all outings.
A park guide provides a range of informational service to park visitors. As a park guide, our duties and responsibilities range from leading educational programs, taking our visitors on tours or guide walks, maintaining the information and material at the park visitor center, and distributing and updating maps of trails or other features at the park. Our work may be seasonal, or we may work at parks that are open year-round. Also, we have some readers of administrative responsibilities and occasionally help perform park maintenance as well. For the benefits of being a park guide, you will be knowledgeable of the places or destination not only by giving a tour but also being enlightened about the human pattern, culture, historical information. You will also be given a behavior of the capacity for learning and transmitting knowledge to succeeding generation.
The trail raiding guide demands full knowledge of trails, horses, safety and emergency procedures, and ability to get along with guests and co-workers. Maintaining skills and barns, general upkeep of the facility, grooming and feeding horses, and mounting and dismounting riders. The most important responsibility of the trail raiding guide will be guiding of our guests on these trails. You will be expected to provide safe and enjoyable horseback riding experience for each person on your ride in all lands of weather.
Special interest guide, rather than having a broad focus, a special interest travel guide provides an in-depth look at a specific location or interest within a destination, or even many destinations. Special interest guidebooks can inform readers about their existing or new area of interest. You can also look at the special interest magazines at the new agents and see which topics are covered, like vintage cars, doll collectors, cookery, interior design, etc. Usually, people who are passionate enough about a special interest to buy a magazine about it are the very same people who want to immerse themselves in the topic by organizing a trip around it.
A snowmobile guide is a person who is trusted to tour the guests around the city during the winter season. Being a snowmobile guide cannot be trusted to anyone because it involves a vehicle that can cause an accident or injury to the guests. To become a snowmobile guide, first they must be trained in basic first aid and CPR or a higher medical certification. They must also have a prior snowmobile, ATV, or guiding experience. Next, they go through a week-long orientation training along with our whole staff. And finally, the rookie guides must train alongside our veteran guides until we feel confident that they are ready to become a lead guide.
Adventure tour guide. An adventure tour guide is a trained professional who is engaged to guide guests through designated areas. These tour guides may work on their own or as an employee of a tour guide organization. Working as a adventure tour guide requires interacting with small groups of people who share common interests. An adventure tour can take place in the air, on land, or in the sea, depending on the itinerary. Some example of adventure tour is rock climbing in Atimonan, Quezon, underground river tour in Puerto Princesa, scuba diving in Coron, Palawan, snorkeling in Apo Island, Negros Oriental, and many more. The highlights of being an adventure tour guide is that it is a profession that provides you the freedom to do whatever you want in your leisure time.
The museum tour guide, basically a tour guide in a museum, also known as museum docent, serves as an ambassador, educator, and entertainer for the museum. They should possess a thorough knowledge of a museum exhibits, which allows them to explain an exhibit or artifact significance and answer any question that guests might have. Museum guides work to offer insightful information to guests by giving them background knowledge on exhibits, work of art, and artifacts. Museum may employ people to chaperone guests and to make their experience more interactive and engaging. And also they help visitors experience a museum collection through guided tours, workshops, and special events. We as experts have detailed knowledge of an institution exhibit and design specific tours based on artist, theme, or other category.
I am a staff guide. Unlike to the freelance guide, it is a type of tour guides that work for any companies or any travel agency. Usually, they are receiving a monthly salary even though they don't have any guests or any clients to tour on a specific date.
Nature tour guide. Nature tour guides lead groups to natural attraction, national parks, and other outdoor locations where wildlife and scientific locations are the focus of the tour. The guides are expert in the natural sciences and have the ability to engage visitors with their knowledge of biology, geology, and the history of the location. The benefits of being a nature tour guide are truly about giving exciting adventures and great memories to the visitors. They are the one who provide knowledge and cool facts of the different ecosystems and wildlife that they've encountered. Through their local insight and knowledge, they can give you a great advice while you are visiting the area. They always make sure that you have enough information and knowledge about the subject of your tour and ensure the safety and happiness of the guests.
Historical guides lead groups of visitors to national monuments, historical sites, historical districts, religious or archaeological sites. These guides are well versed in the history of the site or monument. They offer visitors an interesting description of the location, including its history and what effect on modern society. On this type of tours, patrons often want to learn more about the history of a particular area. In addition, guides answer visitor questions and keep the tour organized, efficient, and safe. Historical guides, either working as employees of the site, working as employees of a larger tour company, or working independently, may have interesting facts and information about the area and events of the past that can appeal to sightseers. Working as a historical tour guide can be a great way to meet new people, to travel, share incredible experiences, and learn more about the art, history, culture, or place. Becoming a guide is an often educational and rewarding experience.
River Guide. River guides or rough guides leads group through river rapids and other obstacles in the water. Trips can last from a few hours to multiple weeks, and guides are often responsible for outfitting guests, setting up necessary camping accommodations, and preparing meals. Many guides attend training to ensure their skills are proficient enough to provide the safety of the guests. It's easy to romanticize the life of a river guide. Their work is our vacation. They float wild and beautiful rivers for a living. They tell the best stories, the funniest jokes, and they even remain calm amid pure chaos. It's only natural to envy a river guide.
Climbing guides. Like rough guides, climbing guides often provide their guests with equipment to climb safely in an area. Climbing guides may also lead guests on bouldering, sports climbing, or multi-pitch adventures where they might teach techniques, belay climbers, and provide instructions. They are also considered to be high-level experts in mountaineering and are hired to instruct or lead individuals or small groups who requires this advanced expertise. This professional class of guides arose in the middle of the 19th century when alpine climbing became recognized as a sport. Did you know that climbing benefits not just our physical health but also our mental health? As Gardner 2014 said, climbing offers a wealth of health benefits, not just our physical, but also it improves your self-esteem, mental agility, and self-awareness. It's a great stress buster and a full body workout, so it's good for general well-being.
Hi, I'm a hiking guide. When the Adventure Travel Trade Association did a survey of the most popular activities in adventure travel, hiking was at the top of the list. Hiking and trekking has become one of the fastest growing activities in outdoor adventure industry, and it has opened up many opportunities for outdoorsy people who would like to make a living doing something they love. Hiking guides may lead hikers or backpackers on short day trips or on longer mountaineering expeditions. For some hikers, peaks are inaccessible without a professional help or professional chaperone or guide. Hiking guides may also help tourists navigate difficult terrain like glaciers, mountain peaks, and mountain passes. There are so many benefits of being a hiking guide. To name a few, first, nature is your office. What a gift is to work outdoors, to wake up to a bright blue sky, to sit around a campfire at night, to spend your days in the world's most beautiful places. Also, winter's free to travel and go on adventures. Guiding hikes for a living is primarily a spring, summer, and a fall gig. Or if there's an opportunity for winter work, you can normally turn it down as many other people are willing to take it. And lastly, physically active work. Spending your work days out on a trail can be difficult at times, but also deeply fulfilling.
A city guides. A city guide can conduct tours of a city on bicycles, buses, rickshaws, automobiles, or on foot. Historical or cultural places, restaurants, or bars and architectural highlights may be highlighted by city guides. A city guide is usually very knowledgeable about the city where they work so they can provide tourists with useful information. City parks and open spaces improve our physical and psychological health, strengthen our communities, and make our cities and neighborhoods more attractive places to live and work. Numerous studies have shown the social, environmental, economic, and health benefits parks bring to a city and its people. A park tour guide. A park guide may work to guide visitors at theme parks, zoos, state parks, national parks, and international parks. A park guide may take groups through the park pointing out interesting sites and providing information to park visitors. If you are traveling with kids, parks are also the best for them to visit because the park is an open area often found with trees, benches, statue, and etc. There is also lots of nature around such as flowers, animals, trees, and much more. It is mostly used for recreational activities such as walking, exercising, cycling, playing, and etc. A play park can even have swings, slides, and some adventurous activities. Through parks, you will take all garbage and gear and make sure you don't disturb the natural habitat of the park, and certainly do not ever touch any animals you came across. And the park tour guide ensures that people are able to continue enjoying these national parks. We all have to do our part in keeping them as pristine as well found them.
What is local guide? Local tour guides offering local experiences are predominantly local businesses. This means your travel spend is directly impacting to the local community. The roles of local guide: recommend best restaurant, hotels, attractions, activities, and shopping. Interpret and present local sites and places of interest, helping solve problems and questions tourists that might have. Deliver local culture, values, people lifestyle, tradition, and beliefs to the tourist.
When visiting new destination, a step-on guide can substitute a tour guide in the place since they can provide for more information. And for example for this is when you travel to Bulacan to Subic. Another tourist guide will step on the bus and provide for more information and can easily assist you around the area.